Hey, what's up guys, Slammer here. Bringing you another little war game tutorial. And the focus of this video will be on macro. Macro is probably the most fundamental skill which is required to play Littlewargame. Macro, very simply, is the production of units and structures. And the way you do that, the way you produce units and structures. What you want to focus on is efficiently using your gold in a way that gives you the maximum amount of units and the maximum amount of efficiency out of the gold that you've collected, right? And you want to also get the most gold you possibly can. And this is just an absolutely important skill to learn. It's just absolutely key. I can't emphasize enough how important this skill is. I'm sure I've done videos, other people have done videos talking about this many times. Today I just want to really get in depth and talk about what you need to do to macro, and also give you guys a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of homework, which I'll explain a little bit later. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm going to be playing a game where I'm playing against an AI, so this is not a human player. And my goal here is just simply to get maxed out. I'm not trying to kill my opponent, I'm just trying to get maxed out in the most efficient possible. And I'm going to try to get maxed out with 3 bases and 30 workers exactly. And the rest is just going to be wolves. And then I'm going to time myself and try to get the best possible time. And this is something I'm now challenging you guys to do after this video. Go do the same thing. Play on Ravaged, same map, play versus an AI, and see what your best possible time getting completely maxed out in Littlewargame is. So, some of the key elements of macro. The first key element, I would say, is a clean build order. What do I mean by a clean build order? I just mean a build order that is not going to waste any gold, going to give you the best possible responses to enemy threats, and is also going to give you just the best possible macro opportunities. I went for a build I've talked about multiple times on the channel. It's probably one of the strongest macro builds that exists in the game right now, and that is just the castle first at 8.
No.
The castle first at 8 supply. And this build just gives you excellent gold production. Gives you a great work production and gold income at the same time. So I'm going to play this a little bit differently than I would in a real game. Certainly I'm not going to build as many wolves early, because I know it's unnecessary. I know the timing that the AI is going to attack me at. But I just want to talk about some of the key things that you need to learn and do in your own game, because this is what separates the extremely mediocre players from the decent to good players. Really, it's just work production. I've seen games where you look at the gold mined, and both players are on 2 bases, right? And one player has like 1,200 gold mined, and one player has 1,000 gold mined. And you look at that, you're like, well, how is that possible? It just comes down to work production. You never stop building workers until you have 10 guys on your supply. Select your card of workers at a mine. If you have a full card across plus 1, that means you have 10. You don't stop building workers until you hit that mark, right? Yes. That's the thing I want to kind of emphasize. You always want to get 10 workers on your mine, and that gives you the greatest gold. And you will start winning games off that, because you don't realize you get large benefits from that kind of production efficiency. You will get it'll win you games straight up. You won't even have to try to win games. You'll have so much more money to build units and upgrades and etc. For some reason he's deciding to mine gold long distance. Okay. The other thing that's extremely important as well that you need to keep in mind is constant production, and also constant building of houses. Always keep an eye on that supply. Always be aware of your supply, especially when you're playing with wolves. Wolves are extremely supply heavy. Okay, so I need one more worker at my main. Also, something that you should note is always transfer 3 to 4 workers whenever a castle is nearing completion, because the first few workers on a castle are the most efficient. Come on, wolves, fight. Kill this worker. So that's definitely a thing. Constant worker production. All 3 castles working. Don't stop producing from your main castle. Just keep up the production. Don't over queue up units.
As you wish.
Keep a close eye on your supply counts. Wolves are very supply heavy units, obviously.
As you wish.
Hope he doesn't send a big force of units at me. Keep up your supply, keep your count. Also, there's nothing really too difficult about what I'm doing, and this will get you like to Division 1, pretty much, just doing like what I'm doing here. And there's nothing rocket science. Just as soon as you see one of those blue lines stop moving, just as soon as you see one of those blue lines stop moving, start up a worker. It's that simple. Keep them on a hotkey. Keep the production up. Alright, I'm at 62 of 70. That means I need a couple houses. I'm gonna get supply blocked, unfortunately. Bit of a mistake on my part here. And that's gonna be, I can tell just by selecting my workers that I'm fully maxed out. Supply 70, 80. I need a couple more wolves. I am gonna be slightly supply blocked, so that's a bit of a mistake. I could have played that a little cleaner, started that house a little sooner. Also, I believe the AI starts sending a force fairly close to about now. I gotta be kind of ready for that. So once these houses complete, I'm gonna be at fully maxed. So I just keep producing units out of these. Oh, run away, wolves! Just keep producing units out of these. I can try to draw him away because I want a little more time. Derpy wolves. I'm gonna lose a couple, but that's fine because my production is so high.
Yes.
I'm just gonna keep producing wolves. And this attack is gonna get completely smashed once it hits my base because I have just so many wolves. I'm gonna scarcely lose any. In fact, I think I can get maxed out before that even hits. Let's see if we can do that. Hopefully get my time to be around 740. Wait till these wolves come out. And we are max. So let's pause it there. 8 minutes flat. That's a nice enough time to pause the game. So my time is going to be 8 minutes flat, 100% max on wolves. And I challenge you guys to see if you can do a little better than me. If you're a newer player, I mean, if you can get maxed by 12 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then the closer you get to around 8 minutes, is going to be obviously fantastic. And that's your homework. Go to Ravaged, play a game against a single player AI, and see how quickly you can get yourself completely maxed in this game. Hopefully this video kind of gives you an idea of what you need to be doing with macro. It's all about consistency, and it will probably just take a little bit of muscle memory just to always have that itch in the back of your mind. Always keep building workers. When you're building units, just keep those production queues flowing. Whenever you select your production queues, by the way, you should always hotkey all your production queues onto a number hotkey. But when you see that, you always want to see the little blue dot always on your production. You never want to see that empty. And that's something very quickly, like even if you're in the middle of a fight, just click back there, make sure it's going. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it gave you a little insight on what you need to do to macro. I'll be interested in seeing what kind of times you guys can get. Maybe you can try racks. I think wolves is by far going to be the best way to get maxed. Certainly, and this is just really just a macro exercise. See if you guys can get maxed as fast as I did. 8 minutes. You guys can probably do a little better than that. See if you can crack under 8 minutes getting maxed. And yeah, I would be interested in seeing your times. Maybe you can post some replays, either in the YouTube comments or maybe on the Team Zenith forums. I'd be really interested to seeing your guys' feedback. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be hopefully uploading a few more in the coming days. And if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you all later.